Good evening, everyone. I'm Jim Gandy in the News 19 Weather Center. We want to bring you up to date on the latest information. First of all, as you already know, it's cold outside, and these are the 10 o'clock temperatures this evening. Already in Augusta, they're down to 19 degrees. Here in Columbia, 23 degrees. We have some teens already here in the Midlands. 26 down in Charleston, 27 degrees in Savannah, and that cold air extends all the way down into North Florida. The National Weather Service has updated some of their advisories. First of all, there is a winter storm warning for all of the coastal counties of South Carolina, and they have issued a winter weather advisory for some areas of the Midlands, including Bamberg, Orangeburg, Calhoun, Clarendon, and Sumter counties. Now, for these counties, particularly for Clarendon and for Orangeburg County, that replaces the winter storm watch that was issued earlier. So this is a winter weather advisory. Now for Orangeburg and Clarendon County, they're expecting 1 to 2 inches of snow. I'll show you that in some cases there might be more than that in those counties. For Calhoun and Sumter County, they're thinking a ½ inch to an inch accumulation. That's the current thinking of the National Weather Service, and that's why they've issued these particular warnings. Now, in the winter storm warning area, they are expecting more accumulation of snow. It's going to be a narrow event, and there's going to be a band of some heavy snow. Here's the situation. By tomorrow morning, the storm system is going to still be down in the Bahamas, but notice the freezing rain from northern Florida into southeastern Georgia. You've got snow developing on the extreme north end of that precipitation shield, and it's all heading up the coast. Notice it comes into South Carolina, but by midday, early afternoon, most of the precipitation is still in the low country of South Carolina, but it is spreading up the coast, and the storm system is beginning to move as well. Now, in the course of the afternoon, we expect this to expand through the eastern part of the state, and that's when we'll get some of our heaviest snowfall during that time. Most of the freezing rain will be confined to the immediate coast. Inland, it's all going to be snow. Of course, once you get out into the Atlantic, it's in the form of rain. Here's the storm system. It is some distance away from South Carolina, and so it's able to push some of that moisture back into the cold air. Tomorrow night, it all moves out of the picture. By early Thursday morning, it's just heavy snow in parts of eastern North Carolina. This storm system will continue to cause all kinds of problems up the eastern seaboard. Not only will there be substantial snow, but there'll also be some strong winds as the storm system will be intensifying as it moves into Nova Scotia and eventually into Newfoundland. Here's what we're expecting in South Carolina. You can see by tomorrow morning some light rain moving into freezing rain, I should say, moving into the low country of South Carolina. Notice that by about 1:30 in the afternoon, it's snowing for the low country of South Carolina. The freezing rain has moved up into Georgetown County, and some of this snow will have moved up into Orangeburg and possibly Clarendon County. So with that in mind, this is 1:30 in the afternoon. Most of the snow that we see here in the Midlands is going to be tomorrow afternoon. Now I'm going to advance this as we go for the next 6 hours or so, and notice how it expands. Now we do expect some northward expansion of this snow line extending into parts of Sumter, possibly Lee and Kershaw counties. They may have to extend the winter weather advisory a little bit further to the north, but that's something that will be monitored during the early morning hours. Notice this is the time, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, that we expect the maximum amount of snow coverage, with the heavier snow still along the coast. Then the system begins to kind of move on out of the state, and by midnight tomorrow night, it's all out of here. All we have are just a few clouds over in the north coastal areas. As far as ice is concerned, again, that's going to be narrowly down along the immediate coast, and it doesn't look like it'll be as much as originally thought, so probably less than 1/10 of an inch of ice accumulation. It's probably not going to be that big a deal for the coastal areas, though some of the bridges and elevated roadways in the low country could get a little icy, and that could be difficult for driving. The bigger issue is going to be snow. And again, it's going to start spreading into our state during the morning hours. Now, when you wake up tomorrow morning, there's not going to be any snow around, provided you wake up before 8 o'clock in the morning. But during the morning hours, the snow is going to be accumulating through the low country of South Carolina. Notice in the afternoon how it continues to spread northward, and it'll continue into the evening hours. There is going to be, it looks like, a narrow band of heavy snow right along the coast where just inland from the coast, you might see 6 to 8 inches of snow. Certainly 6 inches of snow in Charleston's not out of the realm of possibility. Same thing in the Myrtle Beach area, but obviously lesser amounts. Now for Clarendon County, you're probably going to be coming in with anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of snow. Orangeburg and Sumter might pick up as much as 2 inches of snow. But notice that from Sumter and Orangeburg into the Columbia area, it dwindles very fast. There's going to be a pretty sharp boundary here to where snow is falling and accumulating and where it is not. So the western half of the Midlands don't expect any snow at all. Here in Columbia, we might see some snow flurries, but the accumulating snow is going to be primarily from Orangeburg, Sumter, maybe up into Bishopville, and those points to the east all the way to the coast. That's where we're going to see the most amount of snow. Adam has been monitoring things. Adam, what are some of the questions?
Number one, a lot of people are asking about school closings. They are scrolling down the bottom of WLTX and also on WLTX.com and on the WLTX app. And
expect those to be expanded tomorrow morning as people get a clearer picture of what's going to be happening during the day.
Chelsea asked on Facebook, is there any threat of black ice on Thursday?
Maybe down in the coastal areas where they're getting a lot of snow. However, here in the Midlands, it would be confined primarily to Clarendon County, maybe Sumter County, Calhoun, Orangeburg County. Those areas where there's accumulations of snow could see some black ice on Thursday morning.
What are the chances that this model could shift further west?
Well, this is the very latest. This is the latest run that just came into us here in the Weather Center. And it really hasn't changed very much, or it has not changed significantly in the last 3 runs. Now, this model is updated every 3 hours, as opposed to the other models that we have that are in 6 and 12-hour cycles. So we're able to see trends and how they're changing with this model faster than we can with some of the other models. This one really has been pretty constant for the last 12 hours. So it is unlikely at this point that the overall pattern is going to change. Where you might see some changes is in this heavy snow band here. That could change a little bit. It would not surprise me if some of the coastal counties got close to 10 inches of snow. In fact, I remember a situation back in 1989 where in December, before Christmas, we had a snowstorm that moved through parts of Georgia, South Carolina, and then the coastal. And it was a coastal event much like this one. Hilton Head got 6 inches of snow. Myrtle Beach got 15 inches of snow. So this kind of pattern is not unheard of, but it doesn't happen very often where they get a lot of snow and we don't get any.
That was Courtney asking that question. This appears to be going to be focused eastern Midlands to the coast.
Right.
That if you start getting into Lexington County, it's going to be.
It's unlikely that you're going to see much of anything in Lexington County. Again, because it's going to be cloudy, you can see some snow flurries, but it's unlikely you're going to see accumulating snow.
Cynthia brings this up that in addition to the chance for snow, it's still going to be cold.
Oh yeah, there's a 100% chance you're going to see cold air. In fact, it's pretty cold outside if you haven't been out there tonight.
And there are precautions you need to take for.
And quite frankly, it's the same precautions that you took last night. You need to make sure that pipes are protected, and that means if there's a threat that the pipe might freeze, you need to be running a small but steady stream of water through there. If they're wrapped, okay, that's fine. You just need to take the usual precautions to protect pipes from freezing.
There are a lot of questions about specific areas, and without necessarily getting into each of them, go back to the beginning. There were some changes to the advisories, and
that's right. In fact, I don't know if I can get back to it. Let me see. Let's see if we can get back to the advisories.
If we want to recap those.
There we go. Okay, the advisories. Again, there's the winter storm warning for the coast. That has not changed. What has changed, now earlier this evening, we had a winter storm watch for Orangeburg and Clarendon County. That has been changed to a winter weather advisory for Bamberg, Orangeburg, Calhoun, Clarendon, and Sumter counties. Now, I might add that if our in-house model is correct, you might see that extended to include Lee and Florence as well, but right now it's just from Sumter down toward Bamberg County. And that means a winter weather advisory means there's going to be some accumulation of snow. And the National Weather Service essentially for these areas is expecting anywhere from a ½ inch to 2 inches of snow. Of course, the heavier amounts will be in Clarendon and eastern Orangeburg counties. Our computer model is indicating it could be a little bit more than that, maybe up to 2 inches in Orangeburg and Sumter, but it could be less than that. Again, the demarcation between snow and no snow is going to be very fine, which makes accumulations very difficult. One thing's for sure, it's going to be cold, and there's going to be some heavy snow along the coast. Those things we're pretty certain about.
A lot of questions, you know, of course, wondering how much snow any place is going to get. But how about going forward past this event? Is this just a one-day?
It's a one-day event. And not only that, but the roads will improve quickly on Thursday. So if you're concerned about being able to get out, early Thursday you might have problems, Thursday morning. But it's going to be sunny on Thursday. So roads will improve significantly by Thursday afternoon. And certainly by Friday there shouldn't be any problems.
Generally speaking, one more time, what is the time frame for this? That people need
the
to be
time
most
frame
concerned?
generally is that when you wake up in the morning, it's going to be cloudy. We don't expect in the southeastern part of the Midlands for the snow to start moving in until around midday. Most of the snow is going to occur tomorrow afternoon. And by the time we get to evening, it's moving out. So that's really the time frame. It's tomorrow afternoon for the Midlands. Along the coast, it'll be coming in during the mid-morning hours, and it'll be over with by evening.
Brittany asked this question. Will we see more snow this year besides?
Well, it's hard to say, but I will say this, and I mentioned this in a Facebook post that I did on Jim Gandy WLTX. So if you want to see it, go to that. It is that this week is probably going to be the coldest week that we're going to see this winter. Why is that? Well, because the pattern is going to change. Now, it's going to be cold next week. It's not as cold as this week. We got another shot of cold air that will probably come down next week. But after we get to mid-January, the weather pattern is going to change. And everything points, and at least it has for the last 2 weeks, everything points for us seeing above normal temperatures for mid-January through mid-February, which probably means that we may be looking at an early spring. And the danger in that is that the pollen season starts earlier, and then there's the possibility of damage from a late freeze. So what you're seeing now is not what we're going to see for the rest of this winter. Many of you have already asked me, well, what about the weather pattern with the polar vortex? It's similar to what we had some years ago where it persisted throughout the winter. This is not like that. And this weather pattern is going to be changing. Keep in mind that as much cold weather as we had in December, we still averaged above normal. In fact, what was it? Just before Christmas, we had 77 degrees, which was a record high temperature. So we've only been in this pattern since about Christmas. We're going to be in it through the rest of this week and into next week, but then after that, it begins to change.
Before giving you your final message, I want to remind people that all this information is on WLTX.com, the WLTX app.
It's on our website, it's on the app, it's on social media, and coming up at 11, we'll have more information to pass along to you.
And any final word for our Facebook friends?
Well, we're going to be monitoring this storm throughout the day tomorrow, so by all means, just kind of keep up with the very latest, because more than likely with this kind of a situation, there are going to be a few minor changes.
All right, Jim, thank you so much. And
Thank
we'll
you.
see you and everyone on News 19 at 11.
At 11. We'll see you then.